Citizen participation is critical for co-creation for a number of reasons. One is the sort of purely democratic reason, the issue of citizen empowerment, and that is the basis of democracy itself. The second is this issue of creating wise decisions. By bringing citizens into sound political processes, we actually get the collective intelligence, reflective judgments of citizens. Third, there's many issues we're going to have to deal with in relation to climate change and the climate emergency, where there's going to be significant changes to our everyday social practices. We've got to legitimate those decisions. If they're just made in a technocratic way by political authorities, by political elites, citizens are not going to see them as legitimate. Involving citizens in the decision-making process means that they own it. And that relates to another issue, which is compliance. The issue of actually citizens sticking with the kind of issue, the kinds of changes that are needed. Too often, the criticism is that citizens aren't interested in participating, that they have no desire, they don't have the capacity to do it. But I think that's wrong. I think the problem is the offer to citizens is often meaningless to them. I think the invitation that is offered to citizens is to participate in a process that has no meaningful impact on political decision making. So that for me is a question of design, designing participatory systems well, and the political will of public authorities and others to take on board the input from citizens. So one of the most exciting developments is citizens' assemblies. So Citizens' Assembly brings together a randomly selected group of citizens. That's fantastic because you get the diversity of perspectives. If we open up participatory process to anyone who's interested, we get the same old people. We get middle class people, we get men, we get people who are more politically confident. You use random selection, you get a diversity of the population. And then they're facilitated in their deliberations. They learn about the issue at hand, they hear from witnesses, and that means that we can get the collective intelligence, the wisdom of citizens into the political process. One of the real challenges of participation is ensuring that those who are most vulnerable to climate change, to environmental crises, those who suffer most climate injustices are actually part of the decision-making process. That requires careful design. With citizens' assemblies where they randomly select, very often certain groups are oversampled to make sure that they have a stronger voice within that group. All environmental issues, all climate-based issues have resonance at the local. There's questions about air pollution, questions about flooding, questions about transportation, questions about energy systems, and these are perfect topics for citizen participation. For example, we've seen in Poland, in Gdansk, a couple of citizens' assemblies on air pollution and on flooding. In both cases, we saw a kind of radical change where the mayor agreed to implement anything where there was 80% citizen support for it within that assembly. We know that we can deal with these kind of complex environmental, ecological and climate-related issues. It's just whether or not the political authorities have the willingness to embed those participatory processes.